Hello guys, so welcome to my channel. So for today vlog we're gonna check safeties for ship's crane. In this vessel we have four cranes: hose handling crane, port and starboard provision crane, and one is engine room crane. So if we find any deficiency after checking the limit switches of this crane, so we'll try to rectify it. So let's start the video. So first we'll test the limit switch of hose handling crane. Testing the limit switches of the crane is the responsibility of electrical officer. And all the crane's limit switches should be tested within 3 months. This crane is a hydraulic based crane. Limit switches only has been provided for hook up and down and for the boom operation. It is very important that the arm must be free to move, as these limit switches played a vital role to prevent equipment damage and accident. So this is the limit switch of boom. When I activating the limit switch, it stop the hydraulic oil flowing to the boom and the boom stop moving, which means the limit is working good. And for the hook there are two limit switches provided, one for the upper limit and one for the lower limit. So I asked the ship's crew to operate the hook so that I can activate the limit switch to ensure that the hook movement is stopped after actuating the limit switch. And yes, all the limit switches of hose handling crane are working well. So the next job is to check the port and starboard provision crane. So I tested the limit switch of port provision crane and I found it is working good. And for the starboard provision crane, only slewing limit switch is working, whereas boom and hook limit switches is not working. So I rushed myself to check the starboard provision crane control panel to make sure that these limit switch are not been bypassed, and I decided to target the hook limit switch first. So here's the drawing of starboard provision crane, and let's focus only on hoisting operation. So this is the hoisting motor circuit diagram, and it has two speed. One is high speed and is low speed. So the 88H contactor is provided for high speed operation of upper moment, and 88HL contactor is provided for high speed lowering movement, whereas this 88L and 88H contactor is provided for low speed of hoisting and lowering operation. So we need to check the control circuit diagram of hoisting operation. So here's the control circuit diagram of hoisting motor. So this is the control circuit diagram of hoisting operation, and this is the limit switch of hoisting operation. As the crane is working normal, so I am only focused on the limit switch that is not working. So we'll check the terminal of limit switch, that is 745 and 746, to verify that it is not been bypassed. So after checking, I found these terminals are not been bypassed. So I decided to open the hoisting limit switch and check what is wrong with that limit switch. First I make sure that the terminals of the limit switch is looking good and it's not been bypassed. So this is a cam type limit switch provided with two mechanical cam and two switches, one for to cut off hoisting operation and other to cut off lowering operation. So I operated the limit switch manually to make sure that limit switch is working good, and it has a only issue with the setting of cam. So I set the cam in a such a way so that when the cam touches the switch and it activates the switch, the circuit will cut off and the hook stop at the maximum safe limit. And the same setting I have done for the other side of the cam also. After setting up the cam, we did the hoisting operation and found that the cam is actuating the limit switch at the right time. So our one problem is being solved and we'll move to check the other limit switch. So after checking hook limit switch, I investigate why the boom limit switch is not working. So I disconnected the cable connected to the limit switch to check the limit switch contacts that is working or not when we are activating the limit switch. So this is the circuit diagram of boom limit switch. So let's understand the operation of boom limit switch. So when we'll activate the limit switch of the upside, so its NO NC contact will become NO and it will not allow the upper movement of the boom any further, but at the same time the down contact of the limit switch will remain NC. So when we'll activate the downside of the limit switch, so downside will be become NO, and that time at the same time the upside of the limit switch will be NC. So I checked the one contact of the limit switch and it changing its state when activating. Similarly, when we check the other contact, it was changing its state on activating the limit switch. So if the limit switch is good, then what is the problem which causing the limit switch not to operate? So what is the problem if the limit switch is working good? So one of the problem we found out that it has only one mechanical stopper whose condition is also not good, and it's supposed to be two mechanical stopper installed at one upside and one downside. So we decided to make two L-shaped mechanical stopper. So I took the help of the fitter to make two new mechanical stopper. So now we have installed the two mechanical stopper. So when the boom will move up along with the limit switch, the arm of the limit switch will touch the upside mechanical lever and it will cut off the upside movement of boom. Similarly, when the limit switch arm touches the lower mechanical stopper, the limit switch will activate and it will not let the to go down any further. So after installing the mechanical stopper, when I operate the limit switch upside, the boom still going upward and it was not stopping, but the downside the boom is stopping upon activating its limit. So the only problem remaining is to check the cable, and to check the cable we need to do the continuity test. So I put the jumper to check the continuity of the cable connected to the limit switch. So when I check the continuity of one pair of cable which is for the operation of the downside of the boom, I got continuity. That's why when we activating the downside limit, the boom was not going any further down. When I checked the other pair of the cable, I didn't find any continuity, and this is the reason when the limit is activated, the boom was still moving upward and not stopping. And this is the cable condition I found out. So I cut this much part of the cable and renew new pair of cable. And after renewing, I check again the operation of the boom. Boom up कर boom up. नहीं जा रहा ना? Boom down. So finally, after rectifying the issue, we tested the limit switches and all are working well. So now all the crane limit switches are working well. I hope you understand the troubleshooting, and if you like the video, please like, comment and subscribe my channel. That's it for now.